blessings, my loves. Okay, so today I'm doing randoms. Well, right now I'm going to be doing dailies as well, but I'm doing randoms, and I have a whole intro about the randoms in the intro read. However, the intro read got really deep really fast, and it ended up being a lot longer than I expected it to be, so I decided to do separate videos for the reads. So these are just randoms, and they're gonna actually they're going to be elemental, probably, because I've been feeling since last night, I've been feeling very elemental, and we know that I don't really do elements or astrology, and it's not because I don't, respect it or like it. I follow astrology, tarot, daily, guys. Seriously, I follow it daily. Multiple as well. But right now, I'm going to just random messages. I'm going to be doing daily reads after this. There's a reason. I'm not sure what it is. It's just what I'm being told to do the randoms, to do the messages. Yeah, the random messages before I do the daily reads. So I posted a in the description box. There's a link to get your natal chart, where you know your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, because for some reason I'm feeling this is going to be designating with your resonating with your moon sign. Okay, so that means that's a big difference, because for instance, I am a Scorpio and my moon is in Capricorn, so that puts me from a water to an earth. So if I was on the receiving end of these messages, I would be listening to anything that had to do with earth as opposed to anything that had to do with water. Okay, my loves? So this is going to be for our extroverts, all right? Our extroverts. What are the messages that we have for our extroverts? Let's do one more casino shuffle. Okay, so I feel that you guys have been jaded. Who jaded, guys? And what you did from being jaded was you just move forward and unintentionally jaded a whole bunch of other people. Something that you might be feeling bad about now. You might have actually, and this is what I'm feeling, that you recently ran into the person or something that reminded you, maybe a mutual friend of the person who jaded you. And now you're kind of looking back and saying, I'm hearing that that Babyface song, what if? What if we were supposed to be together? What if you were really meant for me? Because I feel as though when you were jaded, you kind of took that and you ran with it. So it was kind of like, I don't need you, and all this other jazz. There was no begging, which is fine, but you, instead of dealing with the hurt and dealing with the pain, you kind of like you pushed it on to other people. So that's not good, and it wasn't intentional. So I'm not judging you and saying you're bad, you're a horrible soul, horrible person. Not at all. It wasn't intentional, and I'm going with, this is going to be with our fire signs. I'm feeling fire signs. This is going to be resonating with. Actually, I'm also feeling that if you are an earth sign, you might be on the receiving end of this. So you might currently be in a relationship with someone who is who has gone through this, and it's something that you kind of surmise, but you have no proof. You have no way of not reaching out, but you have no way of bringing this up without it going in a really bad direction. So you kind of don't know what to do. If you're the spouse or you're the significant other of something that this sound like is resonating with, then I think you should definitely, you should speak out, and I think it's going to go differently than you believe that it will go, okay? If you're the person who has been jaded and decided to jade the whole entire opposite sex population, or whatever the case is, not necessarily opposite sex, but if you're that person and you're feeling like, oh my God, look what I did, blah, blah, blah. It is not too late to change, your path. It's really that simple. And it seems as though like you're kind of weighed yourself down by it, but for you to find love, and for you to because I feel as though like that was kind of it. Like you were like, I was in love with this person and they like destroyed me, and I'm never gonna ever fall in love again. And that very well might be it as well. You might have run into somebody who you feel like you're starting to catch feelings for on that level, where like, hey, you know what? I really, really love you. And I don't do love because love is scary as fuck. But yeah, I feel like no, definitely step out of it. You're gonna have to deal with it some way, somehow, whether that be contacting the person who jaded you, or maybe contacting someone that you jaded to make yourself, I don't want to say to make yourself feel better. That's what was coming out of my mouth. That's not what I mean, because that kind of sounds selfish. But to redeem yourself morally, because I feel as though you're a good person, and like I said, I don't feel any of it was intentional. I feel as though it's just how how the cards played out. So definitely go with that. I feel as though there's a lot of intensity where this topic is concerned, and it's so funny because I'm feeling that you are a very self-confident, self-righteous, can be taken as downright cocky type of person, conceited even. And when it comes to emotions and love and opening yourself up, you are very aware that you do not have the courage, and that you're like, you're a pussy. I'm sorry, and I don't mean it to come across as a negative thing, but you understand what I'm saying if this is resonating with you. That when it comes to that, you're a pussy. But I do believe that you can definitely move forward. You just need to take some time to yourself. You need to, you have beautiful cards coming here. You need to take some time to yourself. You need to, make a plan, like a little strategic plan on what you're going to do. And that very well might be reaching out to the person you jaded the most, or reaching out to the person who jaded you. Okay. Let's see. I also see that for anyone who is engaged right now, and either their significant other or them are having cold feet, and you want to postpone the wedding, I would say go for it, postpone it. I feel as though it's kind of more about what's surrounding it. There might be you might be planning a big wedding, or like a lot of family issues involved. Like you can't sit Auntie Bertha next to Uncle Clement because they don't get along, or whatever the case is. There's just a lot of stress around it, and it's about you two. You guys are soulmates. That's what I'm getting. You're definitely soulmates. So if you're getting cold feet about any kind of planning like that, don't postpone it. I feel as though you guys might even elope, like you get married like on the low and then do the big wedding after. But it has nothing to do with either of you. And this is going to be for our I'm feeling this is for our water signs, okay? This has nothing to do with either of you. It has to do with life's little, circumstances and life's little lessons. The universe loves to throw us little quizzes here and there, guys. So I feel that that's definitely what it is. So if you're in a situation where you're like, oh my God, I thought this was the one and I don't know anymore, and I really love them and they're really, they mean everything to me and all that jazz, and they obviously feel the same, they treat you really well, you treat them really well, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of support, there's a lot of commitment there, and this has to do with things to that nature. Their parents don't like you, their family don't like you, vice versa, then definitely postpone that wedding. However, know that you are soulmates and that it is going to work out. It needs to be on your terms, both of your terms. And that's what I feel. I feel as though the connection is with the water and with an air of fire. Air. I'm going with air. Okay. So definitely speak up. Discuss it amongst each other first. So I don't want you to be like, the wedding is off or the wedding is being postponed. And definitely discuss it with each other first. That, hey, and this is what it's telling me. It's telling me to tell you to sit down and make a list. Make a list of what it is that is actually bothering you. Ask them to do the same. And I believe that on that list, you're going to have at least out of 10 10 things that are bothering you, you're going to have at least 7 that are the same. Okay. And it's not going to be about each other. It's not going to be about each other. And again, this is going to be what's bothering you about this, this wedding or this celebration that you guys are planning. Okay. Okay, I'm feeling that this is definitely resonating with Earth. Okay, and this is for our extroverts, Earth extroverts. I'm being told to tell you to listen to your inner voice, listen to yourself. Don't listen to your mind. Your mind is where the devil plays. Okay, you're going to be coming through a mental breakthrough, and it's going to be on a level of maturity. It seems as though you've isolated yourself into a Peter Pan like state, and this is for female and male, and it's because you kind of, maybe you were bullied, and this is going back to your childhood. And I had a childhood reading for our introverts as well. I'm feeling that you were bullied as a child, and this could have been with classmates. This could have been at home with siblings. I'm just feeling that you kind of like were always, on the defensive, and it seemed as though you needed to have a mature mind then. So now as an adult, you are, a little bit immature because you kind of living life backward. All right. So I feel as though you're going to have a healing coming through. And this healing is going to be after speaking with an older male. And again, this is resonating for female or male. However, I feel you're going to be speaking with an older male, maybe like a grandfather or a grandfather figure, someone who can represent a grandfather, and they're going to help you, okay? They're going to help you to get to where you need to be. I also feel as though you might be actually, that makes a lot of sense. You might be having a child, or, your significant other is pregnant, and you're kind of like a little bit worried, and you're feeling that their energy is going to be taken away from you, and you're going to am I going to be a good parent? What am I going to do? What if he loves this baby more than he loves me? What if she gives this baby more attention than she gives to me? When the time comes, you're going to be just fine, okay? Don't even stress it. However, I do see you speaking to, like I said, an older male. An older male is going to put a lot of this into perspective for you. And being that I feel it's something that happened when you were a child, or it's not something that happened. It was like the childhood that you had. I feel as though you're going to have a better understanding, and that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that like your home life, if you were bullied in school, your home life was great. So at home you were just like this amazing, you were the star, you were just like, you know, the baby, everybody loved you. And then you went to school and they were like, you know, bullying you and teasing you, and you kind of were just like, you know, like, and then it made you look at your family like, oh, you guys have to love me because, you know, you're obligated. That's not the case. I mean, yeah, you know, they have to love you, but they're not obligated to, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that can tell you family is not obligated to support you and hold you up on high standards. I don't feel it's something that's like very, 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 very burdensome. But I do feel it's something that's weighing you down right now, and it's going to pass. You just need to have that conversation, and you definitely all your fears are going to dissipate. You're going to be fine, okay? Burden's going to be lifted. You're definitely going to be living life a little bit differently, because I feel as though you're much more carefree now. Like, so where you will, you know, you jump without looking, that's definitely going to change. And it's funny because I feel again like this is being, that you're going to be a parent for the first time soon. And you're going to be like, I feel as though you're like super like living on the edge. And then when you become a parent, you're just going to be like that crazy, like carrying Purell everywhere you go, Lysoling down the slide at the park. And you're just going to be like crazy, like over obsessive. But you know what? It's still a beautiful thing. And congratulations on your baby, okay? If somebody has changed a career path recently, and they feel as though this was a mistake, don't feel that you can't go back, okay? You definitely can go back. I feel as though the career you were in, it might have not been the career itself, but it was the place you were, the place you were working, or the people you were working with, that were making you feel this, hey, this just isn't for me. But I feel that if you do go back to a different company, things are going to be better. I feel as though you were very overwhelmed. This is going to be resonating with our earth signs as well. Fire. Earth and fire signs. Earth and fire. You were very overwhelmed, and it was just, you know, this was just a clearing period. I feel as though you learned a lot on your lesson, a lot of lessons on this path that you've taken, and you know, it's not going back with your tail between your legs or anything like that. It's just that, you know, hey, I thought that I wanted one thing and I actually wanted something else. I am so sorry about this light. I'm trying to kind of block it out, but it's not happening. I have a candle burning and I thought it was, no. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, definitely you can go back. And again, I that's with our fire, earth and fire. Okay? So those are your messages for my extroverts. Let's see what's going on with our Ambis. What's going on with our Ambis? I don't know why I can't. Messages. Random messages for our Ambis. Last shuffle for our Ambis. Okay. So I feel okay. So I feel that our Ambis have come to a place where they're usually the person to take a back seat, and they're usually the person to always compromise, and they're very understanding, and this is definitely resonating with our air signs and our water signs. This is what I'm feeling. Air and earth. I'm sorry, air and earth. Understanding, compromising, self-sacrificing, for other people. And I feel as though that there's a point right now where you were like, you know what, fuck this, and you stood up for yourself, and you were like, no, it's going to be my way, because I feel that, this, and this. And I feel as though a lot of pent up, because this isn't with a particular person, this has been like everywhere all the time. You kind of were like, you really, really stood up for yourself. You spoke out a lot. You spoke out a lot of things that had nothing to do with maybe the situation. But at that point, you released sorrow, you released stress. And I feel as though you might be subconsciously feeling a little, not regret at all, but a little like guilty, or a little bad, a little sorrow. Don't. You did the right thing. This was a rebirth. This was a shaking off of the crap that that you took on. It's kind of like if you had something, like you had like an old piece of silverware, like this is what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing like a serving tray, like an old serving tray, like an old silver serving tray, and it was just like all like tarnished, and it was like you just dipped it in some tarnish remover and it came out sparkling new. This was definitely a rebirth for you, definitely. So don't feel any kind of guilt or any kind of negativity toward like that. I feel as though, even to the point where you're like, is there something physically wrong with my brain? Like, what would make me do that? And it was just it was your time. It was all about divine timing, guys. All about divine timing. You spoke up for yourself, you stood up for yourself, and you're gonna see, as long as you continue on that path, because it's a new you. It wasn't like a moment thing. It wasn't like something that happened just in that moment and it's never gonna happen again. This is a new you. This is gonna be it. You're not taking shit anymore, guys. You're not gonna be weighed down by other people's perception of you, and that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling it has to do a lot with perception, that you don't want people to see you as a bad guy, or you always want people to be able to come to you, or whatever the case is. And people will still come to you just because you have that personality. It seems as though you're very caring, you're a very nurturing person, but don't, this is a good thing. This is good for you. You did what was best for you, and you can't help others if you're not if you're in a place where you're stressed and you're down. You're not able to help others that way, and that is your thing there, that you like to help others, and you like to reach out to others, and you like to be the one that others come to in their time of need. So you did the right thing, and you're going to continue doing that thing. Don't ever feel guilted or stressed about that, and that's definitely the messages on that situation. Okay, so for our Ambis, I feel like somebody lost a job recently, and they lost a job because they lost a job because they were not doing it. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do. So I feel as though you guys are kind of like saying, oh, you're at a place where you were like, oh, I'm going to take you to court because look what you did, and you fired me for no reason, and blah, 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 blah. And honestly, you're delusional. Like, seriously, take a look at what you were doing. Seriously, take a look at you know, your past work and how you were performing. And you know, were you on a professional level? No, you were not. You were not on a professional level. Were you in a professional atmosphere and a professional job? Absolutely. Were you going to work on time? No. Were you taking days that you shouldn't have been taking? Yes. Were you not performing? Were you cutting corners? Were you doing all of these things? Yes. So the message is telling you that if you are going to go on a legal route, and this is what I'm feeling, that you're going to go on a legal route, that you are going to lose, you know, and there very well might be, I don't know if you... I feel as though you're going to lose and you're going to have to pay money. So I don't know if you're using a lawyer, or if you plan on using a lawyer, or if the court is going to make you pay for the company's legal fees. But definitely I think that you should, don't go that route. Definitely, you know, if you lost your job recently, you know, or maybe, I'm not really feeling that it's so recent. I'm feeling that it's definitely within the past 8 months. This is what I'm getting, 8 months. So I feel as though maybe, you know, you lost your job and you kind of were like, fuck it. And you were like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I feel as though you did have some savings. You went on vacations. You did all these crazy things. Can't find another job. And it's because you're also, if you're interviewing and you're saying, well, I was, you know, my past job really screwed me over and they didn't like me and blah 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 blah, this is what's holding you back from getting a new job. You know, you're just definitely not in the right mindset. And I don't mean to sound offensive to you, I really don't, but this is what I'm being told to tell you, that you need to grow up. You need to grow up, and you need to see your own wrongdoings, because that's what's going to lead you on the proper path, seeing your own wrongdoings. Okay. Okay, for those of you that are having problems sleeping at night, and this is resonating with our water signs, definitely our water signs, you're having problems sleeping at night, you're overwhelmed, you're having thoughts of anxiety and all that other stuff. You're kind of like, wait, is something really wrong with me? Why am I, you know, stressing over all these things? It's because you're clinging to the past on something. Right now, your subconscious is clinging to something from your past. And I'm going to say that it's something from within the past, like maybe, it's going to be like, I'm sorry, it's a big span, guys, between 7 and 12 years. So something that has happened in the past 7 to 12 years. It might be everything that's happened in the past 7 to 12 years. It might be the people that have been in your life. It might be the situations. It might be the work. It might be, you know, whatever. But the past 7 to 12 years has been pretty rough. And you're kind of at a point where you're starting to live your life again, like the way that you would want to live it. But now you're having all these nightmares, and you can't think, and you can't sleep, and, you know, you can't focus, and you're too focused, and it's like, you know, one extreme or the other. And that's just because your subconscious is kind of clinging to the past. So maybe you just kind of need to do some cleansing. You need to do some you know, visualization. I'm all about the visualization, guys. Do some visualization. Maybe speak to a therapist or speak to a spiritual guide. Definitely reach out to somebody. And I feel as though it's going to put things into perspective for you. Also, again, like I said in another reading, and it might have been with the Ambis, or I think actually it was with the Extros, you know, make a list, write things down that you are feeling. Write down, you know, things maybe from that happened during these times, and, you know, okay, what did it do to harm me or damage me, and then what did it do to make me stronger? Okay, because that's a lot of times we don't realize that, you know, during our life lessons that we're learning, we actually are getting stronger, and things are just, you know, going in a good direction, and we're blind-eyed to it because we're just kind of focused on the pain and the anger and the frustration that we're feeling about certain situations. Okay, my loves? So definitely okay, I'm moving on to another situation. In the event that you've been cheating on your spouse, your significant other, your partner, and you are okay, I'm feeling I'm feeling that the side person is pregnant, or either you're pregnant by the side person, or the side person has gotten you pregnant. It's the same thing. Either you've impregnated your side person, or you are impregnated by your side person. Okay, so or you're feeling that, if you're the person who is pregnant, it's a possibility that it's the other person's. And honestly, I'm actually being told for you to not come clean right now, and that's kind of odd. That kind of goes against me personally, my own grain. But I'm being told to tell you to not come clean yet. And this very well might be because the possibility is that it belongs to your spouse or your significant other. I also feel as though it is a situation that you should cut off sexually. I do feel that you guys actually are, you bring a lot of light into each other's life as friends. And it was taken, I think, a little out of context on both sides. So definitely I would say stop popping off with them. But just, keep it under wraps for a minute. I'm not saying to be dishonest and, let this person believe that it's their child when it very well might not be. And also the other way around. Don't make this woman feel as though she can't, come to you, because I feel as though, like I said, you guys are really good friends, and you might have been friends and you just kind of like something happens or whatever. But I feel as though the possibility of this being your spouse or your significant other's child is very high. So relax with that. That's actually, I feel very there's a lot of fire around that, a lot of fire energy. So if you're a fire sign, that's a possibility. Your spouse might be a fire sign as well. Definitely, if that's the situation. Yeah, don't let the cat out of the bag yet, because it might not be necessary. Okay. Okay. I feel that somebody's going on a vacation or actually a business trip, and they're super, 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 super scared of flying. And it's something you have to fly for. If that's the case for you, definitely, go on your thing. I also feel as though if you're single, okay, you are going to possibly meet your soulmate on this, or a soulmate on this trip. So that's a beautiful thing. I also feel you're going to be experiencing new cultures, and it's something that you're going to be very, it's going to change your life. It's going to be a life-changing experience that you're going on. You're kind of afraid you're going alone and all this jazz. I feel as though it's another country. It's definitely overseas. It might be a language that you're not 100% familiar with. I'm feeling like 30-40% familiar with. I'm also feeling this is for our earth signs. Definitely go and have that experience. It's like I said, it's going to be life-altering experience, guys. Life-altering in a very, very, very positive manner. You're gonna feel fulfilled in your soul. You're gonna feel fulfilled in your creativity. You're going to feel fulfilled in your pockets. So it's definitely a beautiful thing. Again, I feel that you might meet a soulmate. Yep. It's going to be, you're going to learn to live in the moment. I feel as though you guys are somebody who's very, you plan out things very strategically, like super planner. Like you have a little notebook, you write all your little stuff down in. Yeah, that's going to change. And that's where your life is going to, where I said it's going to be life altering. You're going to end up being more carefree, live in the moment. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. And you're going to definitely still have all the knowledge that you have, because I feel as though you're a very, very wise person, smart on all aspects, book smart, street smart. You're definitely going to carry that with you. It's not like you're going to turn into like oh, I don't know what's going on with life, but you're definitely going to live in the moment. So that's a beautiful thing. For those of you who are the person that everybody goes to and lays their burdens and their worries on, I feel as though that's going to change as well. I'm getting that with an air sign, definitely with air sign. You're going to, you know, I see a new beginning. I see you taking control back of your life. This kind of goes back to something I said earlier with a different, spread, but I do see you taking your life back. If you are in a relationship and the relationship you're trying to hold on to, and if you were on the end of the conversation with a friend where the friend was telling you about the relationship and you would be like, why are you still there? I think you should take your own advice. That's what I'm feeling, and I'm feeling that that's going to be resonating with some of our fire signs as well. But those are your messages. I'm going back to that pregnancy. Guys, definitely don't relax. Don't go crying over spilled milk before the milk is spilled, okay? Those are your messages, randoms, and many, many blessings to you guys. I hope that it resonated with some of you, and that you take the advice of the spirit guides, and many, 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 many blessings again. And thank you for watching my channel.